Good morning on the Your Next Me live podcast. I'm here because every Monday I want to share with you some of my experiences, some of my tips, things that can help you to succeed more in your business and your personal life. And I really enjoy doing this. So this podcast, you can find it back on YouTube. You can find it back on Spotify and Apple podcast. And I hope that with this, you will be able to excel a little bit more and have more fun in what you're doing. That's the objective. And what I want to talk about today is that I make this shift from a corporate career into my entrepreneurship 3 years ago. I talked about that last week because that was my third anniversary. But what I want to do today is actually explain you a little bit the kind of fears that I have to go from one to the other, but also the lessons that I learned, because as soon as I got into my entrepreneurship, I thought that I had to let go on some things that I had from the past, and I was looking for something completely different. So I think it is important that we also recognize what we got in the past, even if sometimes we're saying, leave the past behind you and just focus on the future. And I'm the first one that would tell you to do that, but don't ignore the past to thrive and to get actually better into the future. So I want to give you my 3 lessons in here. What I actually felt is that something was at one point missing when I was in my corporate life. And although I enjoyed whatever I was doing, well, not whatever I was doing there, but, I was a marketing head and I really enjoyed my job. I had great teams that I worked with. I learned quite a lot of things. I learned about leadership. I learned about project management. I learned about, obviously, the marketing evolution. I learned to negotiate with people, to work together with different departments and not only my team. I learned how to navigate into a management team. I learned to travel across different countries and work with different cultures. So I learned so many things during those many years that I was in corporate career, in my corporate career. But 7 years ago, or almost 10 now, 10 years ago, I felt something needed to change. I needed to do something different. And I'm sure that if you listen to this, that you probably will have that in your life as well, that there is a point in your life that you feel you want to do something different and that you actually feel that there is more in you, but that you don't always know how to get there. And that was for me the case. I knew that I wanted to do something different. I was thinking about running a bed and breakfast somewhere in another country. I didn't have kids at the time that I had that idea. But then obviously I gave birth to my twins, then life changes again. So that was not the best idea, or at least it was not in my eyes the best idea anymore. And I felt I wanted to do something on my own. I needed to have my own business. I never realized that that was so important to me until I was actually listening exactly to what I was feeling. Because 10 years ago, when I was feeling, and that's my first lesson for you, I was feeling things, I realized things, but I didn't actually go and find out more about it. I didn't go and try to understand what was behind it. So that means that the feeling was there, and the feeling was like almost eating me from the inside, but I wasn't doing anything with it, which means that in the end, it was not going to help me to move on to the next step because I didn't know what it was or where I needed to go. And it's only when I got, again, my burnout that I realized that I had to listen to what was happening inside of me. So please make sure that you listen to your intuition. Listen to what your body is telling you. Listen to what your heart is telling you, because it will honestly give you always the right decision. You can back it up with facts and try to find out a little bit more what it is that you need to get there, but listen to what your body is telling you. And it's only when I got to listen to that I understood that I needed to make that shift. I needed to make that transformation. And that's why I'm using this butterfly principle as a metaphor, because it really is, don't stay stuck into your cocoon, but just make sure that you break out for better, more. And it's not only better because I had a great life in my corporate career, but it is better to, at that moment, what I needed and to what I wanted to evolve. And in life, you have different phases. I mean, you have different phases when you are parents as well. And the kids are little, then you have a different phase than when they are teenagers. I can tell you, this is a very different experience. Well, it's the same in my career, and it's probably the same for you as well. So when you have been already in your entrepreneurship for a few years, then I want to get to lesson two. Lesson two that I learned after 3 years of entrepreneurship is that in the beginning, I thought I needed to let go on my past because I had some experiences that were not helping me, or at least it's what I thought, because I was laid off a few times in organizational restructurings. But I realized that when I started my business, I actually wanted to do something completely different to get away from the corporate life, because I was disappointed by, the layoffs. I was disappointed by people. And I thought, no, I don't want to go back there. And I also almost forgot all the learnings that I got from it that I could take into my entrepreneurship. So I was looking for a coach and a mentor that was going to teach me how I could get into the coaching business. And that's what I did with Grant Cardone. And I don't regret it. I really learned a lot from him. I'm still, because I'm still I'm part of his team. But what I realized, it's when I got to know, and, yesterday was the International Women's Day, and it came across my mind as well that I don't have to be somebody else. I don't have to be Grant. I can be myself. But by being myself, I also take all the experiences I have in who I am today, in my business. So don't ignore all the talents, all the skills that you have built, but embrace them. So I hear a lot of, because I get also a lot of clients from Grant, and usually when I get those clients, it's people that actually want to change their life completely, and that's fine. But they almost want to ignore as well what they have learned in the past, and they want to go into something completely different. And that's fine too. But just recognize the skills that you got from your past and how you can take them, even if it's a new business, take them into that new business and, amplify them. Just make them bigger. Just make sure that people recognize as well what what your experiences are. And it's only when I understood that I could take my leadership up a step and take that leadership back into my coaching and give that with the learnings that I had to my clients. And it's also about my marketing skills. I was not doing a lot of operational skills, but I did a lot of the management and the strategy and thinking of new ideas and making people trust themselves that they could make the projects coming alive to a good result. And that's what I actually do in my business today as well. I take every person that I have step by step with the hand through all the different steps that you have to go through. And even if you have already started your business since a few years, but you still feel stuck, you still feel that you're not there where you want to be, well, that's where I can push you to that level where you want to go. And it's the experience in marketing that I got that can help to get there. But I learned a lot about mindset because my whole life I was quite positive, but I also felt that I had lacks of mindset. I was not in the full growth mindset as I think I am today. At least that's the feeling I have. And that I think it really is important. I also learned from my mentors and coaches that 95% of my success, and it's going to be yours as well, it's mindset. And it's only 5% strategy. Okay, so that's the second lesson. Take all the skills, all the learnings that you have from the past and explore how you can embrace them and put them into your business today so that they become even bigger and better for those that you're helping or that you serve. And the third one is that if you want to go through a transformation, and when I left corporate world to go into the entrepreneurial world, I had to learn the new skills of getting courage. I needed to learn again what it was to get self-confidence, because in the beginning I felt so small. I felt so unsure. I didn't really know what I was going to do. But it's by moving and moving forward in a direction, by talking to people, by recognizing that I needed help and that I needed to build my courage so that I could get into the actions, and that the actions were actually helping me to get my confidence as well, that I realized that that was one of the secrets of entrepreneurship. So my 3 lessons that I want to give you today is, first of all, just make sure that you listen to your intuition. It's so important that you have that self-leadership and that you understand what it is that you need. The second one is get into the past with the right intention, take the skills from there, take from your experience, and take it back into your business. Make sure that you explore what it is that you can be even better at because you already have the experience there, and talk about it. In every business that you do, I'm sure that your skills from the past can only serve you today. Just don't ignore them. And then the third one is build your courage through actions. Build your courage with the intention to get big, think big, act bigger. Just make sure that you're taking all the actions that you can with the learnings that you got from a coach, a mentor, or even from your own experience, and amplify those, make them bigger, because you will see that as soon as you have bigger goals, you will have more courage to get there, and you will have more clarity to move into the actions that you need to get to the results where you want to be. So again, the butterfly principle is helping you to get out of that cocoon, to break through, to make sure that you can transit. And I'm really passionate about helping people to do that. So I'm here to help you. This podcast is also to help you to get through all the different tips. I'm sure that if you listen to that and that you apply them, because you can listen but not apply. So if you apply them, I'm sure that you will get already in a few weeks' time in a totally different mindset and a different level. I'm having a shift program that I'm doing. I have different programs, but this one is something that I want to put into the picture in the month of March. The shift program is really for entrepreneurs who want to scale up, who really want to take a year to work with me on a weekly basis through all your mindset, marketing, sales, and leadership skills so that you can thrive and that you can have those sustainable results. Because I'm pretty sure that you're keeping yourself small. And if you're keeping yourself small, it's too bad, because you will not have the full satisfaction of what you want to achieve. And you can only achieve that if you feel that this is the right time to step up and that you recognize that you need help to get there. And I'm really willing to help you. In this month of March, I'm giving for the shift program, and those that want to join, and I don't have that many spots, they can have a really an exceptional bonus that I'm giving, which is worth 2,500 euros. But it is really not about the money. It's about the value that is behind it. And in that bonus, you already have 2 immersion days exclusively with me. And so that you can spend time to really go through all the different things like clarity, getting out of your comfort, working through your limiting beliefs, building your 10x goals, and making sure that you have a 90-day action plan to move on. All right. So have a great week, and then we'll speak next week again. Bye.